This video is going to change your life. Moving forward, your life will be significantly better because I'm going to tell you once and for all the right way to get rid of a hangnail. So contrary to the name, it's not your actual nail that's involved in the hangnail, but rather the skin around the nail. It gets torn. Now, why people get these, we really do not know. They're likely related to bouts of dry skin and an impaired skin barrier around the nails. People who have to do a lot of wet work, where they wash their hands a lot, like healthcare workers, people who work with food, people who clean offices, homes, etc. for a living, do a lot of wet work. Gardeners, etc. The frequent exposure to water is very irritating to the skin barrier, including the skin around your nails. It can become fragile and tear. Yes, I'm going to get into what you should do, but here is what you do not want to do. And I have to admit, I'm guilty of doing this from time to time. You know, you're out and about, you don't have any tools around, and all of a sudden you have a hangnail, and the snagging, the catching on everything, the pain, the agony. You know you want to nibble. You want to nibble, you want to chew, you want to tear it away. Don't do that. There's all sorts of junk in your mouth. Yeast, bacteria, saliva, which is super irritating to the skin. And because you have a little tear there, you can introduce bacteria, yeast, all sorts of little critters around the nail and cause a nail infection. It's called a paronychia. Plus, you're gonna slow down the healing process even further by tearing that back, that little tear back, exposing more vulnerable parts of the skin around the nail, and it's gonna be even more painful for you. So here is what to do when you get a hangnail. And like I said, hangnails, they have a way of appearing when you're like, I don't know, at the airport waiting for a flight, you know, somewhere where you have no resources whatsoever. But if you happen to have all of these tools at your disposal, this is what you're gonna do. And it's not complicated. First of all, you're gonna soak the finger in lukewarm water for a few minutes just to soften that little flap of skin. Then you are gonna take your nail clippers. You're gonna make sure they're clean. Clean them with a little alcohol prep pad, cotton swab dipped in rubbing alcohol to really clean them. Then you're just gonna gently cut that little flap of skin to shorten it. You're not gonna try and cut it away completely. You're just going to trim it shorter, especially if it's already pretty long and sticky outy. Yes, that's a medical term, sticky outy. Alternatively, you know those manicure kits, they always come with those scissors. Like, what are we supposed to do with these scissors? Well, they can be very useful in this situation for trimming that little flap of skin blunt. Make sure they're clean. Again, use a little alcohol prep pad, rubbing alcohol. So those can be used in this situation as well. Then what you're gonna do is gonna blow your mind. You're going to actually get yourself some super glue, crazy glue. If you've watched any of my videos on cracked heels, you've heard the crazy glue recommendation for sealing up cracks in your heels. Works like a charm and is a safe thing to do. But here you're just gonna put the tiniest of tiny little drop of crazy glue right on that little nubbin of hangnail skin. And what that's gonna do is glue it down, and it'll provide you with significant relief from the discomfort of having that jagged edge. This will enable you to go about your day-to-day life and not even think about the hangnail. It's not gonna be painful anymore, and it'll allow it to heal. And as it heals, that little dead piece of skin flap there will just fall off. That's it. That's what you can do. Now, a word of caution. Some people are allergic to these cyanoacrylate glues, whether it be nail adhesives, surgical glues. They have ingredients in them that when the glue is wet, they are actually potential allergens, and people develop allergy to them and they cause all sorts of problems. So if you have an allergy to like nail adhesives or glues, things of that sort, you're not gonna wanna do this. Instead of putting the crazy glue on the little nubbin, you're just gonna put plain petroleum jelly. Plain petroleum jelly. That's gonna help. It's not gonna be as good at providing the symptomatic relief because it's not physically going to ensure that that little nubbin stays down, but It will help with healing, and it will, to a certain extent, help alleviate pain just by acting as a barrier. So that is the alternative to crazy glue. How do you keep from getting these over and over again? What we know about hangnails is that they tend to be more of a problem, again, in people who frequently wash their hands, are re-wetting a lot, repeat water exposure. Maybe you handle a lot of detergents, household cleaning solutions. Maybe you are a hairdresser, you work with a lot of solutions, you're in and out of gloves, your hands get sweaty, sweat gets trapped under the glove, it is rubbed and there's friction, and it's a whole host of factors that leave your hands dry, including the skin around your nails. So number one tip is don't be that person that's always aggressively pushing your cuticles back and trying to trim them, get rid of them, because that can easily lead to hangnails. All that little eponychium around the nail can tear as a result of increased fragility from doing this. Not to mention, when you do that, it allows for moisture, microbes, air to get up under that little skin flap and affect the cells that actually grow out your nail plate, and that can lead to ridging, fragility, etc. So don't be that person that's always pushing your cuticles back, trying to trim them. Stay away from those Russian manicures I've seen on social media. Google Russian manicure if you've never heard of it. It's pretty intense and a potential infection risk for sure. So yeah, don't do that. As dumb as it sounds, make sure you are moisturizing your hands all the time. It's an easy thing to forget. You moisturize your hands maybe at night before you go to bed. But if you're somebody who is constantly having to wash your hands a lot for your job, for example, wait until nighttime to put on a little Jergens lotion, come on, that's not going to do enough. You really need to be super consistent with moisturizing every time you wash your hands and you rinse the cleanser off to help keep your skin barrier happy. And also moisturize around your nails. Now, are there any ingredients specifically that can help cut down on this dry skin buildup that puts you at risk for hangnails around the nail? Yes, urea. Love urea. I frequently recommend moisturizers with urea. They can help not only for the skin around your nails, but they can also help with the health of your nail plate. Likewise, moisturizers with alpha hydroxy acids, glycolic, lactic, mandelic, can help with the nail plate, as well as improve the moisture content of the skin around the nails, helping to improve barrier function, reduce the buildup of dry, rough skin, and ultimately help cut down on those little tears. A big tip that can make a difference, not just for the formation of hangnails, but for the health of your nails, is at night, ideally, like before you go to bed, is to put plain petroleum jelly on your nails and around your nails, because plain petroleum jelly acts almost like second skin. It acts as a barrier and really helps cut down on dry skin buildup around the nails. It almost helps to act as a barrier to like moisture and air and things getting up under the nail and causing, again, nail ridging, also splitting and then tearing of the skin around the nails and leading to hangnails. If you really want to be more aggressive and take it up a notch, what you want to do is get yourself some gloves and put the petroleum jelly all around your fingers, fingernails, and cover your hands with gloves. Really will help enhance penetration and it really provide more bang for your buck, so to speak, because it just basically helps to keep the petroleum jelly up close to the skin instead of rubbing off with like touching your sheets and things. So that is another hack. A lot of people don't enjoy sleeping with gloves on their hands or socks on their feet, but try and hang out that way for an hour or so. If you can tolerate it, it'll get you a little bit more out of the Vaseline/petroleum jelly approach. All right, y'all, that's what I wanted to talk about in today's video. Did it change your life? If you deal with hangnails, they are not fun. But remember, don't go nibbling them. They are not a snack. You're gonna cause problems for yourself, like pain, discomfort, slow down healing, and you can introduce a whole host of little critters into the skin around the nail and lead to what's called a paronychia, which is a nail infection. Speaking of critters in your mouth, that can cause infections when they get in the wrong place at the wrong time. Recently, I did a video all about signs of a yeast infection. And yes, you can actually get a yeast infection of the nails. So check that video out next. I'll put it on the end slate for your viewing pleasure if that sounds of interest to you on this Friday. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.